Hey folks, Reviewy McReviewface coming back at you, and today I want to talk to you on what is a bit of a sad day for hockey goalies who love retro gear, and that is the announcement today that Kenesky is closing their doors. That's right. So those of you who are not familiar, Kenesky is a brand of goalie pads made in Canada. It's been around for 100 years, and they released a statement today. It is with heavy hearts that we announce that after almost 10 years, we have made the tough decision to close our doors. We want to thank the loyal, returning, and all the fans of our equipment for dedication and support of our company over the years. We are sorry for the inconvenience that this may have caused. Sincerely, the Kenesky team. Now, a little bit of awkward grammar and a few typos aside, it was a very surprising announcement. One thing I do want to note, the fact that they said in here that this is after nearly 10 years doesn't really cover all of Kenesky's history. Kenesky goes back to Emil Pop Kenesky, and in 1924 was credited with the invention of a new and better goalie pad. And I have my Kenesky goalie pad shirt here. Yeah, so the Kenesky name goes back all the way to 1920s, and up until the 1970s, Pops was still making all of these pads himself by hand, limited runs every year, only what he could produce himself. When he passed away, his sons picked up the business, and there was some rough years. Things shut down, and then the new ownership group came in and revived the Kenesky brand and started making some different types of pads from the originals. So the originals, you know, were those old leather stuffed with deer hair that really every goaltender for a while there, every goalie in the league was rocking Kenesky pads. And obviously we went away from that and went into the newer styles. So Kenesky had everything from those new styles available to their retro style, which was kind of new materials but old look, right down to their old school pads that still had like the toe cap open and no butterfly pad, knee pads, and all that kind of stuff. So some really interesting gear that, you know, for folks like myself who like that retro look, you know, the Kenesky was maybe your best bet. So I actually got myself a pair of Kenesky pads last year, and I've been meaning to do this video for the longest time to talk about these pads, but I've just, for some reason, you know, I kept thinking, well, I'm going to put it off, and now with the announcement that of the closure of Kenesky, I thought this is the time maybe to talk about these pads. So for me, my journey with Kenesky started around April of 2023. I actually went out to Kenesky, flew out from Calgary, out to just outside of Toronto to go visit the Kenesky shop. It's a very unassuming place, not a huge retail space. As you go in, you've got pads along the wall, you've got a couple of shirts and jerseys and things. But yeah, a fairly tight, little small retail space, just to kind of give you a sense of what is there. But they give you a chance to kind of look at all the different pads and things, and the gloves and the blockers and all of their different gear. Which is really neat. You've got the old school set there next to the retro, next to a cleaner set of the retro, next to a set that's more of that like 90s styling, and then into the 2000s. Like, they had it all there, right? All the different pads for you to check out. They had the chesties, which we'll get into talking about those a little bit later. And then this beautiful crisp white set that I would show every puck mark. And then the gloves. And, you know, I mean, you'll see right here in the video, this glove is a bit stiff, and maybe I should have recognized that in trying it on. But again, I'm a hockey newbie, so what do I know? And the blocker here as well. So, you know, some really cool stuff. It was great to be able to go out and actually visit and see their gear in person. After that viewing, I mean, there were issues with the whole process. I had set up a date to go visit the Kenesky space, and when I got there, no one knew I was coming. So they were kind of like, well, we're busy, leave us alone. So I really didn't get a lot of chance to talk about the pads. But I still went ahead with the order. I was like, I really want to get this set, and I'll tell you, the process took, when I say it took a while, I visited on April 28th. I placed my order on May 1st. of 2023, and I finally got my set of pads in the mail. They arrived at my house on February 20th, 2024, 42 weeks after my initial order. 42 weeks. And I think that does tell you a little bit of something about the whole process, and maybe might contribute to why the announcement today of the closures. A lot of people are waiting around that 42-week mark for pads, but for chesties, I've heard of wait times of up to 1.5 or 2 years to get those chest protectors custom made by Kenesky. And again, one of the issues I had was not a lot of communication. It was pulling teeth to try and get answers back on email. So you got to say, when it comes to the good, you'll see as we go through on the pads here just how good they look. But the bad really was that customer service and those wait times. I think there was a lot of room to improve there, and unfortunately it sounds like they won't have a chance to try to make that better. So here we go. We're going to go through the unboxing and my initial reaction on the pads and a little bit of game footage. I do want to say to everyone who's been involved in the Kenesky brand, thank you for all that you've done for goalies such as myself, and even good goalies, not such as myself, who have had a chance to rock those retro looks over the years. Every time I put my pads on, somebody points it out and says, that is a great looking set of retro pads. And you know what? At the end of the day, I think that's what Kenesky will be remembered for. So thank you to everyone involved. And I will wear my Kenesky pads proudly. Just wish that they are around for everyone else to give them a try. But here's the rest of here's the rest of the video, the unboxing, the trying, the testing against other pads. Hope you enjoy. And yeah, leave your comments down below if you've got an order in with Kenesky, or if you've ever had a set of Kenesky pads. Would love to hear your experiences. 42 weeks and 1 day. That's how long I have been waiting for this. I'm reviewing McReviewface. I don't care. No one cares about the intros. Intros are wasted time where I could be opening up the pads that I have been waiting for 42 weeks. I am so excited to get into these things. These are my Kenesky custom pads. So much to talk about on this, but I'm just doing the unboxing here. There will be more, the breakdown, the comparison, all that. Oh, shut up, who cares? Let's get the pads. Let's get into the legs first. I could go get a knife, but I have waited this long, and I am not waiting longer to find a knife. Okay, it doesn't actually smell like anything, but oh, there they are. There are my brand new Kenesky pads. Oh my God, those are sick. Oh, I don't curse on my channel, otherwise I would say these are sick as... Oh, get out! Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, these look amazing. So happy. So there are the leg pads. Get out of your box. Sorry, I almost hit my wife with a box. Oh, those look so good. There's the back. Oh, they look so good. I'm so happy with those. Let's see. Oh yeah, that knee pad. Let's see. Just roughly. That looks like it's going to fall right in the right spot for the knees. Oh, that's so good. All right, gloves. I am literally like a child at Christmas. Bags. No. There. Oh. Is the new trapper. Oh. Custom. Oh, that's a bit stiff. Oh yeah, that's gonna need some work. But oh, that is beauty. Oh, the fingers feel great in that. That looks fantastic. So happy with that. That's definitely gonna need some break-in though. And yeah, the blocker. Ooh, oh, that's nice. That feels so nice on the hand compared to my unpadded leather that I have on my current blocker. Oh, that looks amazing. Again, got all the customizations on there. Proudly made in Canada. Oh my God, I am so happy with this. You have no idea. This, oh, been waiting so long for this, and they're finally here. So happy. In terms of an unboxing experience, I mean, there's nothing, there's no bill of sale, there's no thanks for buying from us, there's no free stickers. I don't care. My pads are here. I don't care if the unboxing was in like a smelly old garbage bag. I'm just really happy they're here. Can't wait to break in and talk about these a little bit more. Woo! All right, so let's start by talking about the leg pads. All right, so right here we've got Old Busted. These are the Bauer 170. They're a 36-1 senior pad. Bought these used for about 150 bucks. They've done pretty well. They've held up pretty well, but they're old. They're a bit busted. Not the greatest. So we got Old Busted and New Hotness. Here are my Keneskys. These are custom, retro build, and these are about the same size. They're about a 36-1. So I just wanted to kind of show these side by side for a minute to kind of show you the differences and the similarities. They're about the same height. Gonna shock you here though. They are not the same weight. And you're gonna say, of course, because the new pads are lighter, right? And you'd be wrong, actually. These Bauers here weigh in at just under 2.1 kilograms per pad, whereas these Keneskys weigh in at 2.4 kilograms per pad. And you might say to yourself, well, that seems weird, but really, when you think about the extra additions of some of the leather bits and things like that, the leather belts in the back here are newer and thicker. So yeah, it does kind of make sense that they weigh a bit more. I thought they might be a bit lighter, but no, it turns out they're going to be a bit heavier. But thankfully, they're not going to be the heaviest possible pads, because they could have been these ones. This is a pair of Cooper pads. This is the original. These were worn by a gentleman in the 1970s, playing in the Edmonton region. Picked these up on Facebook Marketplace just as a comparison. These puppies, with their wool back and all leather construction, 2.5 kilograms per pad. They heavy. So the heaviest, second heaviest, and then the lightest. But weight is not everything. So let's take a look at the backs here of these pads. Let's show you kind of some differences, and then we'll really get into the breakdown. Sorry, these ones are a bit messy and dirty. You can see it's got similar idea of the, we've got the leather strapping here, leg channel, knee cushion, and these have got an extra strap at the top that I mostly use for carrying, to be honest. And then the Kenesky toe ties. Whereas on this side, brand new Hotness here. Let's get a good angle for the camera. So we got the 3 leather straps here. We still got the toe strap, or the heel strap, excuse me, and the toe ties again, the Kenesky toe ties. So fairly similar, but just a lot newer, a lot cleaner, a lot more retro looking. Yeah. See you later, old pads. I don't know if it's going to be interesting to absolutely anybody but me, but you know, what I want to do is just we're just going to put one of them to the side here, and I'm going to have a seat. Oh, and we're just going to go through this pad and just talk about the construction here. Now, the construction seems to be really nice on this. You know, the foams are all really firm, but I mean, it's brand new, so of course they're going to be firm. It does have a bit of flex to it here and here. If you're looking for like an expert goalie opinion, I'm not. If you've seen my other video, I've only been goaltending for 2 years. But I thought, as an old guy who's never bought gear before, I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to splurge and get a set that is probably going to be my last set ever. So I might as well get a pair that I'm really going to love. And yeah, there are a few quirks with these that it's probably tough to tell from this angle, but there's a little gap right here, and this is on both pads, where you can actually see the foam of the knee pad, and I don't know if that's intentional to let it breathe or not, but it looks a little weird. There's, you know, a couple spots where there's some puckering in the leather being sewn, but I mean, all in all, I would say construction-wise, like looking this over, I don't see loose stitching, I don't see unclean cuts, I don't see uneven seams. These look beautiful to me. Yeah, so just kind of go over the construction here. So this is meant to look like these big old retro pads, right? This is the kind of the look that we're going for. The 3-knee roll, the outer roll here, and then of course these straps. Now on this, these straps are connected to nothing. You can just remove these. There's just a little tab here, and they're just connected to these tabs here. Doesn't go straight through the pad, as opposed to these old school ones where this is the strap that goes around the back, and that's what tied onto your leg. So yeah, these purely decorative. Nice big thick knee foam on this, and then on the back here, strap across the back of the knee. What I really like about this is that you have the option, if you like, to do it across the knee like that, or to go down to here. I haven't experimented with this, but I probably will try it out just to see how different it feels, just to see where the best position is for that elastic. And then this elastic here actually is removable on either side, so you can really get a good tightness on that that calf elastic there. And then I opted, you could have gone with any set of straps. I wanted to go with those old school leather straps. I feel like if you're going to get the vintage look, to then go with a completely modern back would just kind of ruin it, so I wanted to have those leather straps. These are some serious leather straps. Like, this is some serious belt leather right here. This is not going to wear out anytime soon. Good hardware all the way down to the heel strap here, which yeah, nicely sewn in, nice and solid, and then all the way to our toe tie there, which is the Kenesky's, so it's an elastic with the Velcro. I've been using that for the past year on these other set of pads, and have quite enjoyed it. So yeah, so in terms of that first inspection out of the box look on these, I mean, I love the look. The vintage retro, the nice thing is I had an opportunity to really go through and customize the colors exactly as I wanted. Now, I could have gone with just like all solid one color, but I just feel like these knee rolls in all of the vintage photos I've seen, they get a little bit darker. So I wanted to kind of pay homage to that kind of here, the darker knee roll and the darker outer roll. And then just the dark trim on it just to keep it nice and clean looking. And then of course, yeah, the big Kenesky logo down the side. I didn't want it too in your face because, I mean, already there's a lot of branding on these pads. We've got the Kenesky logo on the leg pad here, and then there's a lot more on the gloves, on the trapper and the blocker as well. It's a lot of branding, so I wanted to kind of minimize that a bit. But yeah, so first impressions, again, this is pre going out to skate in these. I am a little surprised at the weight. I didn't think they would be as heavy. I thought they were going to end up being lighter than my Bauer 170s. So I'm a little surprised at that. We'll see how that feels out on the ice. But I think, like, feeling the firmness here, I think this is going to be nice and, yeah, I mean, first of all, protective, which is always important in a set of goal pads, right? Don't want to feel those shots coming through. But I think with the knee pads, the knee block here, it's going to be a nice cushy landing. And then, yeah, the strap should keep everything in place. Fairly firm, but I mean, they do have some softness here, just kind of in the rolls. So it'll be interesting to see what that does for rebounds. The one thing, I think maybe, you know, again, maybe a better goalie would notice this more, but I wonder if rebounds are going to come off a little weird, if they're going to hit like here and rebound up as opposed to hitting here and rebounding down. You know, I wonder if having that texture there is going to be a negative overall. if it's going to kind of make the rebounds do funny things. To be fair, I don't have the kind of rebound control that really I think I'm going to notice, but be interesting to see with a goalie with more experience if they would notice a difference in how rebounds would come off, you know, these pads with all these nooks and crannies in them. But overall, yeah, I am very happy with the construction of these. As I said, there's a couple of little tiny spots where I'm like, oh, I can see, whatever, but overall, like, the stitching looks to be fantastic. They feel solid. They feel well made. The leathers and the buckles and the elastics, everything feels nice and high quality. So yeah, I can't wait to get out on the ice and see how these actually feel. See if I notice that extra 300 grams of weight per leg. See if it weighs me down by the end of the game, or if I don't notice at all. Be interesting to see. But those are our leg pads. Again, compared to these big old things, yeah, like, okay, really, there's only 100 grams difference between these two, which is kind of surprising. But this is the brand that has been making pads since these pads, so it's for me it's worth the weight trade-off to have something that looks pretty damn cool, and it's going to make me look like a better goaltender than I am, for sure. So if you see me out on the ice in these, the goals I let up are not the pad's fault. It's definitely the craftsman, not his tools in that case. But yeah, so that is the pads. Up next, we're going to take a look at the trapper and the blocker. All right, so let's talk about blockers. Those of you who've seen my blocker repair video will recognize this blocker. This is the one where I replaced the palm on it with a chunk of leather, which has held up quite well, if I do say so myself. Now this is the blocker I've been using since I started, and it's fine. One thing I'll notice is I had a couple of goalies say, hey, you gotta watch your fingers there. It's not the best finger protection. It's fine. I haven't had any problems, knock on wood, with protecting my fingers in these. And there's not a lot of padding between the knuckles and the board of the blocker. So I don't feel it on shots, but after the game, I will notice my knuckles are a little red just from rubbing on the inside of this. But otherwise, this blocker has done quite well. However, it's time to replace it with my brand new Kenesky blocker. Now this thing, beef-wise, it just looks beefier. The sidewall protection you can see here is really good. It's got that similar idea of the little scoop and then the thumb protection, but this has just a little bit more robust finger protection here and in front. You can see definitely a little bit more finger protection. And then this floppy piece on this one is replaced with something a lot more solid on this side. Looks-wise, no comparison. We're sticking with the Kenesky here. Weight-wise, as we saw with the leg pads, there was a bit of a discrepancy, and there is here as well. However, this time, we're going from a blocker that weighed in at 820 grams to one that weighs in at 750 grams. So the Kenesky blocker is lighter. Again, construction, 10 out of 10. I don't see a loose thread anywhere on these things. They look the part. The one thing I will say on this is I'm used to being able to really open this up for cleaning after a game. I like to spritz my stuff down with a cleaning solution and then hang it to dry. And I'm used to kind of popping this part open to really get inside of the glove. And here it is laced in. So it's not something I'm just going to be every game popping that open. So I guess I'll just kind of have to spritz just kind of down here and hope for the best. Palm is really good. Now something I've noticed here, and this is thanks to Hockey Reviews. HockeyReviews.ca, I think. I'll put the proper channel name right down here, who did a review on a similar blocker that was put out by PGS, but having a similar issue to this, whereas you can see, like, when I bring my fingers down here, this finger here, the pointer finger, instead of this piece coming straight down, it is rotating as it comes down. So I'm probably have a lot of wear on this fabric here instead of on the palm material. Would be nice to see an elastic or something just to kind of hold that thing straight so that it comes down straight. Just, I think, one piece of elastic going back to here would do the trick. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. I may add that myself as we go. But otherwise, the padding on this thing feels incredible. Like, my knuckles feel like they're up against a pillow right now. It is so soft and comfortable. The palm feels great. There's a good bit of texture here. I think it'll be give me a really good grip on my stick. Again, love that retro look with the waffle board. And, you know, branded to all get out, but really, you know, a really well made. Can't say enough about this. This, to me, this is fantastic. To me, it's one of the simpler pieces of the gear, but I think they really nailed it. I feel like this is going to be very protective, still look very cool. I really love the wrist mobility in this. I feel like I really have the ability to move my wrist around really, really freely in this. If I compare that to this RBK Lefebvre, I feel like I'm a lot more restricted this way. I feel like this cuff just isn't as flexible. So I feel like I've got mobility here, but not as much. And again, that extra bit of padding in here really makes it feel like I can just move this thing very freely. So very happy with the blocker. Let's move on to the Trapper. Now the Trapper, I'm going to go through my my collection of Trappers. The first one I ever got was, again, this RBK Lefebvre glove. It came as a set with this blocker, and I never really liked this glove. To me, I don't know why, this glove just felt a bit small. I don't have massive hands, but this one just felt a bit small. Now, I did replace the pocket on this. I actually did a lot, just kind of teaching myself how these gloves work. I took this glove completely apart, fixed a broken piece in the cuff padding here, replaced all the lacing here, put in a nice deep floating T on the pocket here with skate lace. So I think it's a pretty good functioning glove. Closure is not bad. Once this thing gets a little bit of sweat into it during game time, closes like butter. When it's dry, not quite so much. And again, someone else broke this in, not me. So the problem I have right now with it is the closure is hitting me across here instead of down where my fingers naturally want to bend. So I think that really restricts how the closure works for me on this. But otherwise, it's a decent glove. But as I said, I just didn't love the closure on this glove, so I haven't been using this one. Instead, I've been using this Bauer Vapor glove that, again, I got online. I don't remember how much I paid for it. Not that much, probably $100 maybe? I can't recall. And this one works a lot better for me. Now, some of the complaints, I did also do the floating T mod on this, and I may do that on my new Trapper as well. Time will tell. The one thing, yeah, this felt like it was a better size. I don't know if it really shows up on camera. And this one just felt small to me. This one feels like its appropriate size. The only thing, yeah, the closure on it I think is pretty good. Could be better. The only thing I noticed with this is the closure's okay, but the opening, if I don't force it open, it kind of stays in a closed position. So I would find myself, whenever a shooter would enter the zone, doing that, right? Shooter comes in and I kind of give it a quick tap to open that pocket up. And it's fine, you know, it's served me well. But again, it's a little beat up and it's somebody else's, and it's not my dream glove. Let me show you my dream glove. Also, the other thing with this one, I find the fingers are very floaty in this one. I don't feel, it's like wearing a pair of gloves that are 2 sizes too big. You feel like your fingers are just floating in here. Let me show you. Again, new hotness. So here is the retro Kenesky glove, and this puppy, oh, it fits like a glove. Like the finger slots in here are perfect. I feel nice and cozy and supported in there. The cuff, I'll show you in a minute, fantastic. Again, a little bit of an odd piece of access here on this, kind of similar to the Trapper. I'm used to, with my glove, kind of ripping it wide open so I can spray it after a game and make it clean. This one, I can open to here, but then no further. Right, this piece is tacked down. So I can open it like this, and I can open it like this, but I can't open it quite as fully as the Vapor, because this one got the 2 strips of Velcro here and here, and then this, and like you can really butterfly that thing open and really get at all the mechanics on the inside. Not quite so much with the Kenesky. Again, you can kind of get at the insides here, but not quite as much. But I'll you know, it's just a difference. So I'm sure I will get used to it. On the inside, lots of strapping here. You can adjust to make sure you get that perfect fit for your hand. And then this, I really like this, and I don't have this on any of my other gloves. It's this removable wrist pad here, which is just going to feel so nice on the wrist. Really happy to see that on there. Again, the fit on this is just phenomenal. Like, it just feels like it was made for me. Fits my hand great. The other nice thing too is that this is elastic here. A lot of the other ones, it's just going to be that leather or the Gen Pro for the whole strap. This actually has a good amount of elastic to it, so it gives you a bit of pull there. One thing coming out of the box, ooh, yeah, I have to work this glove. This is not game ready, broken in. This definitely is going to take some flexing to get it to the point where it's going to be a nice buttery smooth close. Interesting thing I found with this is you've got this this kind of little notch cut out here, because the glove itself kind of flares up and out at the corner here, and so they've done this little notch in so that as it closes, this piece here, instead of getting caught, kind of folds over the top at the wrist here. So as a result, you get this kind of, it's a bit of a different closure. Kind of goes past what I'm used to. What I'm used to is more of, it's not quite the pinch catch, but it's more like this. This is more of like a full-on thumbs up, which is going to take some getting used to. Like, that's already, you know, I've been sitting here doing this all day long, and my hand is already getting a bit sore from it. But yeah, again, the more I work this, the softer it'll get. And again, construction-wise, 10 out of 10, no complaints. Looks beautiful, you know, really well constructed. Again, you know, it'll be interesting to see after playing with the floating tee and the skate laces. I've just got the regular lacing in here and a non-floating tee. So I may make that change down the road to go back to the floating tee. There's something about grabbing a puck with the floating tee and it just gets sucked back in there and nothing's coming out. So I wonder if maybe, if I'm used to that, now going to play with this, if this is just going to be a rebound machine, right? Things are going to hit here and just trampoline out, especially until I get this closure to where I need it to be. Otherwise, yeah, fantastic glove, really happy with it. Yeah, it's going to take some work to get it to that closure point. Something to note here, it's interesting, as I close it, I can see the seam. You would think the seam would kind of run along the ribbing in here, and it doesn't. I can see my closure point kind of runs across one of these ribs. So it's kind of going across it, so I think it's going to have to fight it to kind of get it broken. But again, I think once I get this broken to where I want it to be, I think it's going to work just fine. It is a beautiful glove, and again, combined with the set, I mean, this is just retro heaven right here, so I'm super happy. Yeah, very happy with how these things came out. Everything looks great, really well constructed, and I can't wait to get on the ice and give it a test run. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention the weight. So not much difference. This Trapper that I've been using has been 1.08 kilograms. The new one, 1.06. Not a huge difference. All right, and in terms of action footage of this gear, I don't have a lot. My practices like this one are at 6:30 in the morning, and my games are at like 10:30 at night, so not a lot of audience there to film for me, but I do have a bit of game footage here to kind of show you the pads in action. Hope you enjoy. Yeah, so there you have it. There's my Kenesky experience in a nutshell. You know, I think it's a real shame that we're losing this company for any goalies in the future who want that retro look. You know, you can go to Bauer and get it printed on the front of a pad, but it's just not quite the same thing. And, you know, the loss of small Canadian manufacturers in the goalie retail market, you know, I think it hurts. I know John Brown recently just announced their closure, and I was looking at their chesties, and they are a thing of beauty. So it's a shame to lose those smaller brands, but I'm happy that I have my set of Keneskys to kind of hopefully help preserve some of that heritage that Pops created 100 years ago. But hey, I'm not trying to sell you anything, because unfortunately Kenesky's not there to sell it to you, but I'm just giving you my review. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you click that subscribe button for the occasional video when they come out. You know, in terms of my goalie gear, yeah, I've got Keneskys that are no longer available and a coveted mask that's no longer available that I was going to do a review on that too, and then they closed up shop, although you can go get something pretty good from Apex goalie masks now. It's same folks involved there, but I'm rambling. I'm reviewing McReviewface. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in next review.